How about them Cowboys? Angry Cowboys fan. Oh, born to battle. Hey, hey. Some just means we never sell. America's team through thick and thin. Hey, hey. When the star shines bright, that's where we win. Angry Cowboys fan.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation and Angry Cowboys fans around the world? Y'all know who it is. It's your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. And Cowboys Nation, I was scrolling on X yesterday and I came across something pretty interesting when it comes to the George Pickens contract negotiation. Ever since the notion's been presented to Cowboys Nation, the Dallas Cowboys have been looking to place the franchise tag on George Pickens in hopes of getting a long-term deal done. All we've heard is how George Pickens' representation, David Mulugeta and Athletes First, doesn't like their players to play on the franchise tag, and this is why George Pickens has not signed his franchise tag tender. Well, with recent franchise tags going around the league, the most recent franchise tag tender of the Atlanta Falcons tight end Kyle Pitts has been signed. I'm starting to feel as if David Mulugeta is taking what Jerry Jones has said and continues to say personally. So let's talk about that a little bit more during this Raw and Uncut. Get ready for the Angry Cowboys fans, Raw and Uncut.
Man, keeping it real. They keep it real. That's real.
All right, Angry Cowboys fan family, we over here on my X account. If you're not currently following your man on X, make sure you follow the Angry Cowboys fan on X, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Threads so we can chop it up on a social media level. But anyway, we are over here on Ian Rapapport's X account where he posted yesterday at about this time, it was 10:40 a.m. yesterday, he posted hashtag Falcons tight end Kyle Pitts, who was franchise tagged, is signing his franchise tag and showing up for workouts. The two sides can still negotiate a long-term deal, but he locks in his $15.045 million fully guaranteed tender. You know, I put tender on there because it's not there. But anyhow, Cowboys Nation, I know you're wondering, why does Kyle Pitts have anything to do with the Dallas Cowboys? And I'm going to show you right here, Cowboys Nation. As you can see right here, we on Google, and it says, Kyle Pitts is represented by agents David Mulugeta and Andre Odom of Athletes First. As of early 2026, Pitts has been franchise tagged by the Atlanta Falcons with contract negotiations handled by the team. Cowboys Nation, that really poses a question in my head. Why the hell can Kyle Pitts sign his franchise tag tender and show up to volunteer workouts, but George Pickens can't and they're represented by the same guy? So let's go ahead and go back over to the Angry Cowboys fan radio station so I can break it down a little bit more. So you see what I mean, Cowboys Nation? According to Ian Rapapport, Kyle Pitts has signed his franchise tag tender with the Atlanta Falcons for $15.045 million. Not only has he signed his tender, but he showed up to the Atlanta Falcons' first day of off-season workouts yesterday. No, this doesn't mean that he's officially playing on the franchise tag, but he is out there putting himself in a position to potentially get nicked up or even hurt during off-season workouts. That pretty much is the same thing as playing on the franchise tag, Cowboys Nation. So why is it that George Pickens hasn't signed his franchise tag tender with the Dallas Cowboys yet? As we see over in Atlanta, there was nothing stopping Kyle Pitts from signing his franchise tag tender while also being represented by David Mulugeta and Athletes First. So why is it a drama-filled soap opera for George Pickens to do the same with the Dallas Cowboys? And you know, Cowboys Nation, I hate to speculate, but it really has me thinking that it's the remnants of the Micah Parsons debacle that continues to rear its ugly head within the Dallas Cowboys organization, as well as the representation of Athletes First, specifically David Mulugeta. I'm not talking about how Parsons' ordeal ended, but how David Mulugeta was treated by Jerry Jones and, quite frankly, is currently being treated by Jerry Jones. But like I said in the previous video, you can catch more flies with honey than you can with vinegar. I made a whole video getting on Jerry Jones's top about the interview that he had at the owners meeting, where he said something along the lines of, if Pickens didn't have an agent and he worked with me, then he would have more money. And that's the difference between Atlanta and Dallas. I haven't seen any stories where the Atlanta Falcons GM is trying to talk to Kyle Pitts behind the scenes to get him to agree to a number without his agent present. I've heard this twice in 2 past offseasons with Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. And if you've ever done business, but you've done it in good faith, you tend to be able to conduct business with those same people with no questions asked in the future. And it's all predicated on good faith. In the case of George Pickens, unfortunately, George Pickens happens to be stuck in the middle of a passive-aggressive feud between Jerry Jones and David Mulugheta. The way Jerry tried to circumvent the agent-player relationship with Micah Parsons and also tried to do with George Pickens? I could understand if David Mulugheta felt disrespected, but that disrespect should not trickle down into negotiation processes with different players. Jerry sitting there telling his agents, as well as the media, that he would be better off without David Mulugheta being his agent. Sitting there trying to mess up this agent's bag on the low. That's not good business, Cowboys Nation, especially when you have to continuously do business with the same agent with other players. But you see, Cowboys Nation, the last time we heard of George Pickens when it comes to Jerry Jones, he was happy and ready to sign his franchise tag to become a Dallas Cowboy for the foreseeable future. What happened since then, Cowboys Nation? What I feel happened was that George Pickens told his agent what he and Jerry Jones spoke about, and once again, David Mulugheta said, hold up, wait a minute.
Hold up, wait a minute.
And told him to allow him to do his job when it comes to representing him as a player. So here we sit, 12 days away from the Dallas Cowboys offseason workout starting and 15 days away from the NFL draft, and George Pickens has yet to sign his franchise tag tender. I'm telling you, Cowboys Nation, this doesn't set well with me in the grand scheme of things. But on the flip side, if David Mulugheta is holding on to personal grudges and it's distracting him from conducting business on George Pickens' behalf, that's a screwed up scenario, Cowboys Nation. You can't allow your feelings for an owner or a GM to dictate how you conduct business on another person's behalf. Could you imagine if David Mulugheta was advising George Pickens to hold out because of the way Jerry Jones treated him during the Micah Parsons contract negotiations? That wouldn't be fair to George Pickens. Playing hard to get would not work in the favor of his client, but at the same time, you can't allow Jerry Jones to just throw his weight around because it's not good for both situations. And let's not act as if Kyle Pitts isn't capable of commanding a hefty payday as well, Cowboys Nation. I don't foresee him being the highest paid tight end in the league, but he could be top 5 at the end of the day. And that goes for George Pickens as well. He's not the best wide receiver in the league, but he could be top 5. So why is one not signing his tender, but the other one has? But all I got to say is that our wide receiver 2 position is a necessity, Cowboys Nation. We need a top quality wide receiver to be on the opposite side of CeeDee Lamb. We need someone on that opposite side that demands respect from the opposing defensive backs in the league, and George Pickens does just that. I mean, could the Dallas Cowboys find a receiver who would do the same thing while not commanding so much money as David Mulugheta is looking to get? Maybe. Maybe we can, Cowboys Nation. But what happens when we trade George Pickens, we get another wide receiver in the building, and he balls out of control? Does Jerry Jones just discard him because he plays so well that he's earned a top bag? Something's got to give, Cowboys Nation. Why is it that this George Pickens situation is so much of a soap opera when P.J. Locke and Kyle Pitts wasn't? Why is Jerry Jones the only GM that has an issue with getting David Mulugheta to come to the table? I don't know, Cowboys Nation. All I do know is that Jerry Jones better have an answer. He better have an answer if he decides to franchise tag. He better have an answer if he decides to trade. If George Pickens goes into this year on the franchise tag, Cowboys Nation deserves an explanation as to why an extension couldn't be reached. If they trade George Pickens before the draft or before July 15th, Cowboys Nation deserves an explanation. And I know that Jerry Jones is going to lie to the media as well as to Cowboys Nation because that's what he's good at, Cowboys Nation, lying to every single one of us. But there is absolutely no reason why Kyle Pitts can sign his franchise tag and show up to the Atlanta Falcons offseason workouts, but George Pickens can't for the Dallas Cowboys. It's not the fact that David Mulugheta doesn't like for his players to play on the franchise tag. It's starting to seem like David Mulugheta doesn't like for his players to play for Jerry while on the franchise tag. And I wonder why, Cowboys Nation. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. Cowboys Nation, can y'all come up with a reason as to why the Atlanta Falcons can get things done with David Mulugheta, but the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones can't? Is it strictly business or is it personal on someone's behalf? Y'all know how we do. We always talk about it in the comment section. If you're digging this content and you want to help the channel reach its current goal of 20,000 subscribers, drop a like on this video, share it with anybody that you know is a Dallas Cowboys fan, and if you're on your mobile device and you haven't used them up yet, make sure you hype this video. Doing so will help get the content out to even more Dallas Cowboys fans. They'll come over to the Angry Cowboys Fan YouTube channel and want to become Angry Cowboys fans themselves. And if you are DC for life and you want a resolution with this whole George Pickens saga, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to be notified whenever I go live, release another video, podcast episode, or film breakdowns. You can catch the Madden 26 or College Football 26 gameplay on my other channel, the Angry Cowboys Fan Gaming Channel. I'll make sure I put the link to that as well as the gamer tag in the description. Will Jerry Jones ever learn from his past mistakes, Cowboys Nation? Will he ever start taking free agency and extending his top players by the horns? Or will Cowboys fans have to continuously live through the bullshit that he's done for over 25 years? What will it take for the Dallas Cowboys front office to start running things like a football operation and not a promotional brand? Only time will tell, Cowboys Nation. But until then, this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan, and I'm out. Dang, Angry Cowboys Fan, you done made it through the entire video. But if you want more content, you can definitely go to this video right here. Or if you want the latest episode of the Angry Cowboys Fan podcast, you can go right here. But whatever you do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, but remain DC for life.